Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Sunday, September 6th, 2015. In the Lynn-Body-Mind we have me, Ra, also Luce, and Black Wolf. In the Jamie Body-Mind we have Pan, other teammates in other aspects of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension, all of us in the subatomic, the way you people think of it.
That's true.
We can feel you arguing with that, but feel free to check the facts yourself. Actually look. Don't say that can't be true.
That's true.
Actually look. Based on that recent display, it's pretty clear that we need to continue to work on interdimensional cooperation, making this an interdimensional effort to manifest the divine plan right now, to trigger the awakening right now. The data clearly showing what's needed is to provide a collective restart right now. The
That's
data
true.
also showing an interdimensional approach that includes spirit world, nature realms, and physical dimension presences is essential for this effort to succeed. And with that, it begins. May we be of service to heal the root causes of the troubles in interdimensional cooperation, and whatever these troubles represent in such a way as to provide a collective restart right now. Again, my attention is drawn to the aspects of bigotry, the challenges of bigotry that we've been working with for several days now.
That's true.
The bigotry that the spirit world has against the nature realms and the physical dimension. The bigotry the nature realms has against the spirit world, and other aspects of the physical dimension that they don't define as being aspects of the nature realms.
That's true.
And it's also true that the physical dimension has aspects that call themselves atheists and say they don't believe in God. They're basically saying they don't believe that there is such a thing as a non-physical. And certainly there are aspects of the physical, the humanoid presences in many planets don't acknowledge the nature realms.
That's true.
As being, having value equal to or potentially greater than their own.
That's true.
And so they are not acknowledging the sentience of the nature realms.
That's true.
What now?
What now? How may we be
of service right now to heal this bigotry that we find coming from all
sides.
angles.
That's true.
Yeah. What do I know? I know that we can't heal those people out there. We can only heal what we can sustain and merge with. And so finding these bigotry facets in ourselves and in our own inner workings as a team is very helpful. And the great thing about our team is that we have presences here who are nature realms beings. We have presences here who are angelic. We have presences here out of the guides community. We have presences here who are physical dimension presences. And we're all working together or attempting to work together in a search for truth.
That's true.
The instruction is to become more intensely curious about what's actually going on.
That's true.
And the more curious we become, the deeper we delve into every single issue that crosses our frame of reference.
That's true.
And the more we discover inconvenient truths that are nonetheless still true.
That's true.
Ra here, speaking from my own perspective. I come out of the angelic ranks. And I can definitely see my prejudices against the physical dimension.
That's true.
And it's crazy because I would have said that I was not a prejudiced person at all, and compared to others, definitely that's true.
That's true.
But I can see how I assumed when errors were happening that it was somehow the fault of the body minds. That was just my background assumption.
That's true.
Something went wrong. Well, what can you expect? We're working out of physical dimension presences, and I was very gracious about it.
That's true.
While blaming the physical dimension presences for errors that now that we start to detangle them, we can see, well, hold up, Haas. Those are our errors, and not our errors from the aspect of self that's in the body, but it's the aspect of self that's out of the body at the time that's making the error. And so it has nothing whatsoever to do with the physical dimension life. It's messing up the physical dimension life because we're sending incorrect instructions and our timing is off.
Our messages are garbled or poorly worded.
Right. So we're hanging upside down and backwards in the seat. But other than that,
we're doing just fine. That's true.
For you, Pan.
Yes.
How is it for you?
Well, I'm definitely prejudiced against spirit world beings as a blanket statement.
And rightly so.
Well, there's history to back up the prejudice. There's history to back up the bigotry.
Right.
Spirit world beings have been breaking treaties with the nature realms as far back as there have been treaties.
That's correct.
That's true. But I don't have to use that as an excuse. I don't have to judge all spirit world beings based on the actions of others.
That's correct, too.
That's true. Those kinds of actions actually end up hurting the person that takes them.
Well, they hurt everybody, and they hurt the effort, and they stand in the way of providing a collective restart fast, not slow.
That's true. And I have a lot of prejudice against spirit world beings.
That's true.
And also against physical dimension beings, as much as I don't want to see that.
Go on.
It's similar to what you, Ra, were discussing earlier. I have the sense that if a mistake is made in an interaction or a cooperation between a non-physical presence, be it nature realms or spirit world, and a physical presence, that the fault lies on the side of the physical presence.
Yes.
So my bigotry against physical presences actually seems to outweigh my bigotry against the spirit world. Because if it comes down to who do I place the blame on between a spirit world presence and a physical presence, I lean towards the physical presence.
I see that.
Yeah.
Well, let's heal this for all of us.
For all of us.
It actually doesn't even make any sense, really, because now the more we begin to decollapse what's actually going on in the non-physical, the more we see how much of it is based more and more on fantasy, which actually makes perfect sense because the physical dimension does provide inconvenient, uncomfortable, unpleasant reality checks.
That's true.
That help us stay at least connected to the point that we're willing to acknowledge that gravity exists, for example.
That's true.
Whereas in the non-physical, there are arguments about gravity. We pretend that we're working out, and then when we actually come into a body, a physical body where gravity is actually a factor, it's astounding how difficult it is to work with gravity.
That's true.
Try to lift a knee so that you can take a step, and then another, and then another. Try and go for an 8-mile run. It's astounding how difficult it is.
That's true. Even with cooperative bodies who are trying to help.
Who are in shape and trained long-distance runners.
It feels like raising shipwrecks.
Well, as it turns out, it's not only loose lips that sink ships. It looks like bigotry sinks ships also.
That's true.
Bigotry sinks ships. Interesting. What do I know?
Yeah.
I know that we're supposed to work interdimensionally, that it's part of the process, it's a required part of the process, and if we're bigoted against each other, we aren't going to work effectively as a team, and getting synchronicity going is going to be challenging.
That's true.
That makes sense. Bigotry would sink ships, and now some sadness is coming up.
I feel that.
It feels like Asha's sadness has the same quality as the sadness of this greater perspective.
That's true.
These feel like sadnesses of good people, good-hearted intentions, but struggling to deal with where we ourselves are messing up.
That's true.
And wanting for it to be someone else's fault, anyone else's fault, that things aren't going smoothly right now.
That's true.
Whenever right now is.
That's true.
It doesn't feel angry.
No.
It just feels sad.
That's true.
So let's heal that for all of us who are sad that we need to change. That we can't just keep on the way we are and succeed, that we have to change in order to succeed.
That's true.
Now there's some anger coming up. It doesn't feel like Asha's error patterns, and it's the error patterns again of a greater collective, but this feels like the error patterns that Glenn, for example, shares in. And he's a really, really good guy, so I'm not trying to single out Glenn any more than I was trying to single out Asha. Those are two amazingly wonderful people.
That's true.
But Glenn has this pattern of getting angry when it's pointed out that, like all the rest of us, he too needs to change. We all have to change. This isn't going to happen. Big projects don't succeed unless the team members are all willing to change and actually do change.
That's true.
And so now I see people watching who don't like this idea and what it might mean for them.
A big panel of people.
I see you. We see you.
Hello.
We see you. Hi. All of us have to change.
It's true.
It's just the inconvenient reality, and the faster we come to terms with it, quit resisting change, just suck it up and change, the easier it actually goes for all of us.
That's true.
Not only in our individual goals, our individual efforts, but in the collective effort as well.
That's true.
So we invite you to join us in a truly interdimensional approach.
That's true.
And you're all upstairs in the spirit world. You're all out of bodies. So we invite you, we strongly suggest, actually, that you get into the physical dimension and see what it's like. And we offer multiple options.
That's true.
There are 3 options on the table. If you're actually curious about what's actually going on and you actually want to search for truth, becoming more and more curious, then this pillar is the place to be. But everybody starts at the same place. You're no different. The rules apply to all of us. You have to start at the very base of the pillar.
That's true.
Carrying up cases of lies, just physical effort, carrying up cases of lies up the stairs until they can reach the very rinky-dink and remedial pulley system, which is our building of a delivery system.
That's true.
Of divine support into the physical dimension, because the previous divine delivery system has collapsed.
That's true.
And now we have to start again.
That's true.
So that is an option for you, should you choose to be interested in searching for what's actually true. If you aren't yet interested in that, and many people aren't, and we understand it, then there are 2 other options. One for those who wish to be active, and one for those who wish to be inactive. And there are 2 life forms, and the active souls go into one of those life forms, and the inactive ones go into the others, and the assignment is to get those lives to fulfill their destinies, to do what is theirs to do right now. Do it now.
That's true.
And we have, what do you say, maybe over 200,000
over
of the
200,000
passive ones. So my takeaway from that is being passive and not interested in truth doesn't work at all.
That's my story too.
And in the other active but not searching for truth,
maybe 50,000.
Maybe 50,000. So my takeaway from that is that also doesn't work, but it's not as big of a disaster as lazy disinterest.
That's true. Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll see.
We'll see. And how many are in the search for truth pillar, they ask? It varies. We have had 1,500 here, and we had up to 4,000 here. The 1,500 and the 4,000 went into that I want to be active but don't want to search for truth life. We thought we could just knock that little project out. We could get that person to do what she was supposed to do. We as souls.
That's true.
But that was wrong. It didn't happen. And now those 1,500 souls are trapped there until the project is completed.
That's true.
We think all included, nature realms and spirit world presences alike, we have just under 100 working in the search for truth pillar right now. True. Does that answer your question?
They're very grumpy about that.
Yeah, they don't like that. Well, why don't they like it? Why are they grumpy about that?
Well, I think it's because it implies that they should do something.
Oh, right, you should do something.
Right.
Just to
We all
clarify, in
Me
case
too.
that was unclear, you should be doing something both for the greater good, also to have integrity with your soul plan, which you're a spirit world presence, and so I know as well as you do that your soul plan commits you to trigger the awakening right now, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do.
That's true.
And that is actually true. And there are karmic implications for having no integrity. And clearly, if you're not doing anything about that, you have no integrity.
That's
and
true.
I can feel that you're angry. I can see what you're doing, by
That's
the
true.
way. So just to clarify, yes, this applies to all of us. It applies to me, it applies to Pan, it applies to you.
That's true.
We see that it's triggering for you. We acknowledge
true.
that. And what maybe we have not made clear is how extremely triggering and challenging this is for us. This
That's
is
true.
very challenging
That's true.
for us. We're being forced to confront deep bigotry inside of ourselves and make a change, and
That's
it's
true.
extremely difficult. I'm struggling with it.
I'm struggling with it.
Luce here, I'm also struggling with it. That was Ra who was speaking.
That's true, and this is
before.
Pan speaking.
I, Black Wolf, am struggling with it. And Glenn is really struggling with it, and so is Asha.
That's true.
We're all struggling with it. Betty Jean is struggling with it.
That's true.
Sylvie is struggling with it. Lizzie is struggling with it.
Steve.
Hank and Steve are struggling. The nature realms presences are struggling with it. We're
That's
all
true.
struggling with it. It's okay to struggle with it. Don't use that as an excuse. That's where you're tripping up. We're all
That's true.
struggling. We don't have to use it as an excuse.
That's true.